This is Covering the Spread, part of the FanDuel Podcast Network.
The quarterfinals are now set for Euro 2024 across the pond, and some fun matches are on tap in those quarterfinals. I selfishly kind of wish some of them were not quarterfinals and instead semifinals or finals for that Spain versus Germany matchup, but we're going to break down that match. We're going to talk about some futures, talk about the Golden Boot race, and much more today with Dr. Ed Feng to get you ready for the Euro 2024 quarterfinals. This is Covering the Spread right here on the FanDuel Podcast Network and FanDuel Research. My name is Jim Sonis. I am a managing editor of digital media for FanDuel Research, joined here as mentioned by Dr. Ed Feng. You can find his work at thepowerrank.com. Check him out on X at thepowerrank as well. Ed, we're going to talk Euro 2024, but I think we should probably talk about Team USA in Copa America too. Unless you just want to fully avoid it, should I begin things on a bad note or just avoid it entirely?
No, let's talk about it. Obviously, it was very unfortunate to lose to Panama with the red card. And so, that pushed them out. I don't think the U.S. played all that bad in general. They had a strong first game and couldn't really get it done against Panama in the second game. But Panama had some kind of ridiculous finishing over the last two games. Like the goal they scored against the U.S. to win it was a pretty sweet goal. Some really nice finishes against Bolivia. That game certainly could have gone the other way. It's a little depressing that the U.S. really got outplayed by Uruguay, in my opinion. I don't think the final score really reflects that, especially when the goal should have been offsides on an Uruguay 1-0 win. But I felt like we got outplayed. I don't feel like we're in the same class as Uruguay. I mean, we're not even close. So that's a little bit depressing, but I think the big question, obviously, is if Greg Berhalter stays on. I'm honestly less upset with him now than I was before the World Cup.
Sure.
He's actually playing Gio Reyna now, and Reyna actually had a pretty decent game against Uruguay, even though I don't think he's the same player he was 2 years ago because of injuries and lack of playing time. Hopefully he'll get back to that form. So I'm actually less annoyed with him now than I was back then, but I also think it's a good idea to probably get a new coach in, for this next World Cup cycle. I don't think that's a bad idea. And, the U.S. wasn't really at full strength either, right? I mean, no Serginho Dest, who, as much as I like Joe Scally because he plays in the Bundesliga, he's just not as good as Serginho Dest. And, Tyler Adams wasn't really at full strength. Gio is not. I mean, he was good, but he's not close to his potential. So it's not all on Berhalter, but so those are my general thoughts on the U.S. men's national team.
There seems to have been a lot of discourse that it's not just Berhalter, but also maybe the talent level on the U.S. is not what people have kind of hyped it up to be. Do you agree with that? Where maybe there's a talent issue here as well, or what are you thinking there?
Yeah, so I have my own thoughts on this. I think the U.S. talent level is significantly higher than it's ever been. We've never had a player like Christian Pulisic that starts for a Champions League regular team like AC Milan. I think Christian Pulisic is the real deal. I think we have a bunch of other players that are capable of doing that as well. Weston McKennie's playing a lot of minutes at Juventus, and they're a Champions League level team. The level of talent on this U.S. team is good. It's better than it's ever been. Unfortunately, the rest of the world is better than it's ever been as well. I think that's the significant problem. If we had this talent level 10 years ago, I think we'd be a top 10 team in the world, but the game has changed. The game continues to move. You see like a team like England that I always used to make fun of because everyone thought they were great, and they would always be like 10th in my numbers. And I thought that was a legit representation of where they were in the world. Well, all of a sudden, they have players like Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham that are the best that I think England has ever produced. And now they're a legit top 5 team. So compared to England, we're worse off than we were over a decade ago when I think we tied them in that group stage match in the World Cup. So the rest of the world's getting better, and that's the problem. Yeah, I'm not sure we ever catch them. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So no U.S. and Copa America. We'll talk about the England side of things, though, by talking about the Euro 2024 quarterfinals, futures, and much more in just 1 second. But first, a reminder to make sure you're subscribed to Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcast. As mentioned back on Monday, now on our summer schedule here on Covering the Spread. Not every day. We're going to swoop in here for the bigger events that you want to watch. I'll swoop back on Friday to talk some NASCAR street race in Chicago because I'll be there. So figure I might as well talk some bets for that. We'll have semifinal thoughts for Euro 2024 as well. So big events, we're going to be here, home run derby and stuff like that. But if you want some daily betting thoughts, make sure you check out the FanDuel Research podcast feed as well to get all that. But to get these shows as they're posted on the less regular schedule, search for Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcasts. Hit subscribe, and if you like what you hear, leave us a 5-star rating and review as well. The dog days are here, and the coolest place to get in on the MLB action is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There is something for everyone every day, all summer long. You can score bigger winnings in any inning with profit boosts, snag bonus bets for home runs every Tuesday, and even beat the heat with no sweat bets. So head over to FanDuel and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 18 plus in DC and 21 plus and present in select states. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, DC, Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Vermont, Virginia, and Wyoming. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777. Or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700. Visit chaosgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Now, Ed, let's talk here about this Euro 2024 bracket. The bracket is a big part of the discussion because England is a co-favorite with Spain at plus 390, even though England has had some troubles finishing so far. So I want to talk to you about England specifically, Ed. Co-favorites at plus 390. Does the easier path justify England at plus 390, or is the top half of the bracket where your interest lies here?
Yeah, the bracket is so lopsided. It's kind of hilarious. So England had a national crisis for 90 plus minutes the other day when it didn't look like they were going to get past the round of 16, and only a bicycle kick from Jude Bellingham saved them. They were able to win that game. I mean, I think in England, like the malaise from losing in the round of 16 at Euro when you were the favorite, I mean, that must last months. I'm only guessing here. Like that's got to like extend into the Premier League season for a while. And now, honestly, I think like if England doesn't get to the final, I mean, they should get to the final. Look at this bracket. Like, and with all due respect to Switzerland and the Netherlands, who are decent sides, they are not in the same class as England. And I think it'll be another national emergency if they don't make it to the final. You know, you lose in the final to France or Germany, no big deal, right? I mean, still, there'll be malaise, but it'll last for like a couple of days. This side of the bracket is crazy. I do think it is justified that they are the favorite, but I don't think it's because they're the best team. Oh man, these changed from earlier today.
They did, yeah.
I don't think it's because they're the best team. I certainly don't think it's because they're playing the best. I think it's less finishing than just not creating the chances. The XG hasn't been great through their 4 matches so far. But yeah, this is all like I spent a lot of time trying to talk myself into Germany plus 480. I was like, why are we down on the Germans? I actually think there's some value in that match against Spain. We'll get into that in a little bit. And I was talking to some friends about what's going on here. And then they reminded me about the draw. I was like, oh, yeah. The draw sucks. I mean, to have to go through Spain and France is before you even get to the final is insane. and that's why Germany's at plus 480. I mean, I think they had better odds pre-tournament.
They were plus 440, I think. So yes.
Right? And so that just shows you how hard this draw is.
I think France was the same. I think France was also plus 380 or somewhere in there, and they're plus 440 now. So basically, Spain's the only one that's shortened among this top four.
Right. Yes. I also have a Spain 8-1 from before the start of the tournament too. So yeah, I mean, it's all about the draw. Yeah. No value for me here. I think this is right. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the Netherlands in a little bit as well. Yeah, it's good to be England.
I have a Spain 8-1 thanks to you. I also have Jamal Musiala to win Golden Boot 80-1. He's down to 6-1 now. He and Harry Kane are both 6-1. Cody Gakpo of the Netherlands is the leader for the Golden Boot. He is plus 380. So 2-year pre-tournament favorites, Ed, are sitting in good spots at 6-1 at Harry Kane and Jamal Musiala. Gakpo ahead of them. Where do you see value in the Golden Boot market right now?
So this is a little bit of a crazy one. So you really got to understand how they give out the Golden Boot. If it is not, if you're tied on goals, the next tiebreaker is an assists, and that's why Cody Gakpo is the favorite. He has 3 goals, he has an assist, and he still is playing in this tournament. He's actually tied with on goals and assists with this man from Georgia. If you could go down a little bit, this I can't pronounce his name. I'm gonna Georgia's Mika Tadazzi.
Yeah.
So he has 3 goals. He also has 1 assist. And I actually think really the most interesting bet here is Tadazzi, Mika Tadazzi. I think it's this guy at 21 to 1. So the third tiebreaker is minutes played. And right now he has played 2 more minutes than Cody Gakpo in the tournament. But if Gakpo plays another game and doesn't score and doesn't have an assist, and no one else gets to, no one else scores, Musiala doesn't score, this guy from Georgia wins, right? And I don't understand why. I think 21 to 0 is pretty long for you're basically betting on the null scenario where a lot of these other top guys don't score. And even if Kane gets to like 3 goals, he doesn't have that assist to put him past this guy from Georgia. Actually, no, he would need 2 assists, right? Because
to beat him,
Kudasi is going to have played fewer minutes than anyone else on this list, right? So, yeah, I like him to play at 21 to nothing. 21 to 1, 21 to 1 plus 2100. I think there's actually some interesting value here, just because I'm not sure. Back in the Women's World Cup, I had Alexandra Popp as the Golden Boot winner, and she Germany was out and she was not going to win, but I was actually able to cash that bet out for a small profit because FanDuel wasn't properly accounting for the fact that assists were the tiebreaker. I think there's a little bit of that here as well.
Sure.
I don't think that 21 to 1 is probably. I mean, I think it should be like 10 to 1. I don't know. But that's the reasoning, right? You got to look at the tiebreakers. And I think they properly have, Gakpo has the tiebreaker over Musiala, and that's why you see those odds at the top. Now, the Netherlands do play Turkey, and they are big favorites. So Gakpo probably has 2 games to add to the goal or the assists. So, yeah. I do like the man from Georgia. I haven't bet it yet, but I will as soon as we jump off here.
Yeah, that's Mikitadze. I'm going to guess that we'll go with that pronunciation to win the Golden Boot 21 to 1. The situation right now as things stand is Gakpo, Mikitadze, Musiala, and Ivan Šranc from Slovakia all have 3 goals. But as you mentioned, Gakpo 1 assist, 2 for Mikitadze. That's why he is currently if the tournament ended for whatever reason right now. Well, I guess Gakpo would have it by the minutes thing.
He would have it by 2 minutes.
If Gakpo gets 3 more minutes.
Right. He's going to get 3 more minutes unless he gets hurt. Oh, that would be funny.
And then Kane currently has just 2 goals, but the reason he's up there is because people are expecting England to go pretty far into this tournament. So that's why he is up there, despite the fact he has just 2 goals so far. So pulling for Musiala, really want that one to come through. But I like the chaos of Nikotadze potentially winning it, despite not even playing at this moment. So I think that is a fun route for that one. Let's talk about that match you alluded to. I think it's the premier match of the quarterfinals. That is Spain versus Germany. Got that Spain 8-1 ticket. Got that Musiala 80-1 golden boot ticket. So I wish both these teams could win, but they cannot, Ed. So right now at FanDuel Sportsbook, Spain -114 to advance. Germany -106. Any bets you like into this match specifically?
This one's particularly interesting to me because of the differences between two sets of numbers that I have. I have a goal-based model that looks at every single match since the start of 2020. It's what I run on my site. It's the most visited page on my site. And that would actually kind of completely agree with Spain as a slight favorite. I have that model has Spain at 50.5% chance to advance. I also have started running an XG model, and I have it updated through the quarterfinals. And Football Reference also has data from Copa America, so that's pretty exciting. We're getting more data on Argentina and Brazil. In that model, Spain is third. I guess that's not too much of a surprise, but Germany's fourth, which is a big surprise given their results over, last World Cup. Actually, the last 2 World Cups. So, they were pretty strong by that model. And considering that Germany is at home as well, that model gives the Germans about a 55% chance to advance. I think there's value in Germany to advance here, especially at home. They've been playing like they are the home team, a lot of energy. Spain has been great, but they were actually at a deficit to Croatia in XG in that first game that they won 3-0. I didn't see the game, but apparently the finishing was very good for Spain. Look, Spain is great, right? There's a reason that we took their odds at 8-1 before the start of the tournament. I think Germany is as talented. They're also at home. I do think there's slight value in Germany -106. And obviously, if you have a Spain future at 8-1, it also makes sense to bet a little bit of Germany here, especially when there is value.
So that is, again, Germany to advance -106 at FanDuel Sportsbook. And as I'd mentioned, we're both in a position where we've got that Spain future 8-1. If you were listening to our Euro 2024 preview podcast, may have gotten into that as well. So that could play a factor here too. Now, Ed, my personal, I'm asking this very selfishly, like my confliction here is that I've got the Musiala golden boot ticket. So I kind of have exposure to Germany too. So I'm kind of tempted to sit out this match entirely or like just bet it straight based on what you were saying with Germany being a value and not even consider my Spain ticket and just kind of let both those futures ride because I kind of benefit one way or another no matter who wins here.
Yeah, I mean, I bet a little Germany, right? Like, I mean, you can still get a Musiala goal. So, yeah.
I think that it's interesting too. If you look at your 2 models combined, it sounds like if you like, this is what I do with my NFL model. I have 2 separate models and I blend them with a weight towards the one that has the better mean squared error. But if I've realized that if I blend them like 65-35 between the 2 models, that gets me a better aggregate mean squared error between the 2. So I decided to blend those 2 models. And it sounds like that's kind of what you're doing here with Germany as well. Is looking at the 2 models blended. And that would say Germany 52.5% or so. And that's a better number than -106. Is that kind of the process you were using here?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think Germany should be a slight favorite because of the blend of the 2 models. I think that also makes sense in terms of what we've seen. Yeah. I don't believe Germany's given us any reason to downgrade them since the start of the tournament. So, yeah.
Okay. So that is Germany -106. They take on Spain. Any other quarterfinal bets you like over at FanDuel Sportsbook, Ed?
I actually think this Netherlands-Turkey game is pretty interesting. I expect the Netherlands to move on, but I think these odds are really off by both goals and by adjusted XG. The Dutch have about a 70% chance to advance. I just think there's a little bit of value at Turkey in +290. A couple reasons why. So first, there are 7 million people of Turkish descent that live in Germany. It is the largest minority ethnic group in the nation. Little history lesson from Wikipedia this morning. Apparently, there was some when the economy was good in the 70s or 80s. Germany, they allowed a lot of Turkish immigrants to come in to fuel that economy. That's why there's so many Turkish immigrants in Germany. When you watch Turkey in their last game against Austria, they played like they had a home field advantage. They played with the energy similar to what we've seen from the Germans in this tournament. I don't think Turkey is good. I think the Netherlands will move on, but I do think there's value here. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Oh, and the second point is I just don't think the Dutch are that good. They are. I mean, the numbers somewhat reflect that. In the XG numbers, they are not particularly high. They're 7th in the world when I look at goals adjusted for opponent over the last couple of years. They don't really have like elite attacking talent. Cody Gakpo is fine. He's done fine for Liverpool, and he's obviously done fine this tournament. And Daniel Malin is another one of their wingers who plays for my team, Dortmund, who was great this year for Dortmund until he got hurt. But it's just not the same level of attacking talent that the England and France's and Germany's of the world have. They're still starting this old man Memphis on the left wing, who doesn't even start for his club team at Atletico Madrid these days. He's kind of a nothing over there. I with all due respect to the Dutch, because they do deserve a lot of it with the history and their impact on the game. This is just not one of their better teams. So do I expect them to move on? Yes. But I would not be shocked if Turkey won and rode the the kind of home field advantage that they are having in this tournament. So, if you have Turkey at 30%, there's a little bit of value in plus 290.
The implied odds at plus 290 are 25.6%. So again, you were saying they're about 30% for you. So a decent amount of value there on Turkey. I'm curious how you handle that from a modeling perspective when you've got a quasi home field advantage. Are you giving them like a partial bump, half of what or no bump at all?
No, I give them no bump at all.
Okay. And it's still showing value on them.
Right.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Right.
So
which is like the Dutch aren't as good piece of it, right?
Right, for sure. So even the anecdotal side says that the model may be undervaluing Turkey because of that potential for a bit of home field juice, and they're still showing value there. So Turkey plus 290 to advance. We're at.
Did you see the end of the Turkey-Austria game?
I saw clips of it. Is that the?
It was unbelievable. So Turkey-Austria. I don't think it's a stretch to say that it was like the least enticing matchup of the round of 16. And
then it's just an insane game.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. I mean, I actually spent most of the game preparing for this podcast and updating some of my numbers, but I turned it on towards the end, and Austria is just begging for a goal, and they finally get a perfect header that's headed towards the back of the net before the Turkey keeper stabs at it and makes the most amazing clutch save I've ever seen.
I think you said it was like 0.94 XG on that, right?
Yeah, I think that's a little different. I think it was like based on where the shot went.
Yeah.
I don't think you get 0.94 XG for that shot. Right. I think that reflects that it was like 94% because of where that shot was going. Like there was only a 6% chance that he sticks his arm out and saves it. I think that's what I saw. But it was wild. It was wild. Yeah.
I've never seen a sicker save than that in that situation, considering the context. Like, it was really cool to see Turkey get that, and we'll see if they can ride the momentum on that into maybe the semifinals as well. That is Dr. Ed Feng. Make sure you check him out on X at the Power Rank. Find his work at thepowerrank.com. Ed, what is going on for you at the Power Rank right now?
I'm back to writing my free email newsletter every Saturday, 5 Nugget Saturday. Took a little bit of a break last week because I was on vacation. But I'm back Saturday, July 5th. So check that out at thepowerrank.com. If you're looking for action over the weekend, that's the free service for you.
Alrighty. You can get that by going to thepowerrank.com, and again, find Ed on Twitter on X at the Power Rank. You can find the Football Analytics Show wherever you get your podcasts as well. I am on X at Jim Sonis. You can find FanDuel Research on X at Jim Sonis. No show on July 4th. Back with you Friday to preview the Chicago NASCAR Street Race. This has been covering the spread right here on the FanDuel Podcast Network.